I want to play the rest of this Bernie clip because the corporate media is now trying to do what they always do and make Bernie Sanders seem like the radical person, not the Democrats that are agreeing to literally airlifting of crumbs to the masses as they are lying, bleeding out economically. Literally, the media and the Democratic Party are proposing airlifting crumbs as the masses, many of whom are watching right now, are bleeding out, have had no federal help since July 26th. July, August, September, October, November, December. 5 months they've had no federal relief. Let's see how MSNBC tried to set up Bernie today.
So much for being here. I had Mark Warner on my show yesterday. I know Hallie had him on her show earlier today. He said the same thing. I want to play you one of those bites.
We have in our unemployment the bipartisan plan, 16 weeks of both increased unemployment for people who were expiring from their unemployment the day after Christmas. It included the 16 weeks for the gig workers, independent contractors, and it included a full 16 weeks of a $300 a week plus up. We thought that was very important to get to those people most in need. I think because the president and even some folks that call themselves progressives wanted stimulus checks more important than that assistance. You had to take it out of some pot, and I'm afraid that the relief for the unemployed may be a shorter period of time.
This is a feeling among some of the Democrats about the progressive wing and the complaint and the pulling of the direct stimulus money from the unemployment. What is your response?
No, that is unfortunately, I think, not an accurate statement on the part of Senator Warner. The truth is that when the negotiators gave up on $160 billion for state and local, the direct payments would be about $150 billion. On top of that, very recently, as I understand it, there is an additional $30 billion. Additional $30 billion going into the small business program. So there was more than enough money to do what obviously should have been done, and that is to make sure that we extend unemployment for 16 weeks. And I'm disappointed that that is not the case. My own view is that the essential problem here is that back in March when we passed the CARES Act, that was $2.2 trillion. Right now, in the midst of a terrible pandemic where the economy is in disastrous shape, all that we are talking about now is $900 billion. That is an inadequate sum of money to do what has to be done. But one of the things that has to be done, what the American people want, what the economists tell us is very important, is to put money into the hands of people today who cannot pay their rent, who don't have enough money to go to the doctor, in fact, can't even feed their kids. There's economic desperation out there. The American people want help. They need help. I had proposed a $1,200 check for adults, $600 for kids, with a maximum income of $75,000 for an individual, $150,000 for a couple. We're at $600 now for adults, $600 for kids. This will be a step forward in providing a modicum of relief to people who are struggling right now. But it's not either or. It should be both.
Democrats are on the same page about that. They wanted more money in this bill. They wanted both in there. That didn't happen. And so because that didn't happen, because this direct stimulus payment was taken from the unemployment insurance, shortening the time.
No, it wasn't, Katie, it was not. Katie, that's not quite correct. Democrats, the negotiators, withdrew $160 billion for state and local. The program that I am fighting for cost $150 billion. And on top of that, they put more money into...
That's not in there any longer. No, I'm not arguing that point. That money is not in there any longer. For some reason, I don't know why it's not in there any longer. And you're saying that's bad negotiating. I get that. But because where we stand right now, I mean, I guess if this is the best that's going to come out of this bipartisan agreement, is it a good idea to take money from unemployment insurance? I mean, when you're trying to get money to people who need it most.
For the third time.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Do you want to respond? Okay.
For the third
I'll
time, we're not taking money.
When you were trying to get people, I'll let you go. Go.
All right. We're not taking money out of unemployment. There is more than enough money, even within the $900 billion, to do 16 weeks of extended unemployment plus the $150 billion for direct payments. It is not, in my judgment, coming from unemployment.
I can't watch any more of that. First of all, why in the world? Oh, by the way, just so you know, Mark Warner, who is the corporate Democrat, who in the beginning of that clip, when the audio wasn't working, he said there are some people who are calling themselves progressive, talking about Bernie Sanders. He's the one rationalizing this $900 billion sandwich. You know how much Mark Warner is worth? Do you know how much this man is worth? He's worth $90 million. He is the richest senator in the country. How did he make his money? Guess it. Wall Street venture capitalist. So I don't really want to hear a goddamn thing from Mark Warner about who's progressive and who's not, or how much money we should be giving the American people during an unprecedented, deadly pandemic in which 3,600 people died yesterday. 308,000 have died total. Bernie Sanders, what he was trying to say, enough with this ridiculous framing that to give more money for the direct stimulus checks, which, by the way, $1,200 is not enough either. That's a joke, too. But better than nothing. Why are we allowing these people to gaslight us during a deadly pandemic with the framing that the only way that we could increase the stimulus checks is by taking money, moving money out of unemployment, or that the only way that we could increase the amount of time the unemployment benefits will last is taking money out of something? No. This is the goddamn problem with the Democratic Party, and excuse me, I'm fired up. They surrender right out of the gate Republican framing because they are Republicans. First of all, the Democratic Party, contrary to what the Republicans are saying, contrary to, what lunatics are saying, just won the presidential election. That's called momentum. The Democratic Party, is on the brink, if they don't f*** it up, of possibly retaking the Senate if they win these 2 seats in Georgia. The Democratic Party, by a wide margin, if they were willing to fight, has the overwhelming majority of the American people. Look at the polls. Look at the pain on its side to fight the Republicans on more stimulus money, more unemployment, and the Republican Party needs to win these 2 Senate seats. That's the only thing Mitch McConnell cares about. The Supreme Court and keeping the Senate. So why wouldn't you very publicly fight the Republicans right now? Why wouldn't you very publicly fight Trump right now? That no, $900 billion is not enough. The vaccine is not coming widely distributed for everybody probably until April or May. Why do we allow them and Mark Warner to say, well, Bernie, if we're going to increase the checks for stimulus, by the way, $600 checks, kudos to Bernie for getting it because they didn't want to include any, but that's a slap in the face. Yes, $600 check. What the hell are you going to do with $600 if you've been unemployed for months? If your small business is going under? Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.
you.